Every woman needs to take that universal path to find self-worth, a voice, and a cherished life. That path is the heroine's journey, the roadmap to an amazing adventure that women travel to discover their true selves. The heroine's journey is not about getting on your superpowers and going out to fight the lions, tigers, and bears of the outside world with your might. That would be the hero's journey. This woman's journey is the internal journey that a woman takes to grow her courage and strength and travel to her best life.
Heroines, so glad you're here. And I've got exciting news. The Heroine's Journey book is out and for you. It's going to show you how your life can move along so beautifully and gracefully. Go get the book now at heroinesbook.com. Journey onward. Yvonne, so wonderful to have you here on the Heroine's Journey podcast today.
Well, I am so thrilled to be here, Joan. It's something that I'm looking forward to sharing together. We do that together outside of this as well. And this is just special to be here with you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, because we do have wonderful conversations. You know, and both of us have been women who blazed the trail, so to speak. You know, we've been entrepreneurs. We have taken control of money in our lives, you know, and we've had conversations about that. And we really want to share some of those conversations with other women.
Yes.
Because I really feel that for women, money becomes important when a crisis shows up in life. You know, it tends to be a crisis in, you know, all kinds of things. It might be divorce, it might be health. It is the path of the heroine's journey, as you and I have so often talked about. And at the same time, our conversation is a heads up, because you kind of have to think about money before the crisis comes up.
Yeah, it's usually a better path to do it that way. Exactly. No, it's so true, Joan. I think that those are less, I'm very passionate about that now, especially after I've lived, well, I'd say a lifetime of my, so far, of my path. And, you know, I've also met so many other women and entrepreneurs who, you know, we struggle because it isn't something, money in the maintenance or the management of it, or even how it works and how this whole system works with money. It was never taught to us in school, as you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You know, those are questions I ask now, because I see how important it is for us to understand that whole aspect, because we get out into the real world. And like you said, we want to take on challenges to build our dreams, our ideas, our businesses. And then we realize we hit this wall. Especially if we're building businesses. I mean, yes, you got that. So right, we hit walls when our health goes down, or there's a crisis, or breakup in relationships. All those things cause major crisis in the money world, and especially for women, because we haven't been taught that. And that is one of my little passions going forward in life, is still to see if I can get a program together that I can teach my grandchildren, who are now becoming young teenagers, the importance of money and how it works.
And I got such a strong lesson in that, because, as you know, I've written a book called A Girl Needs Cash. It was the first book written to women about money, specifically women, and not like it's some gender neutral thing. But the story I was going to tell is that after the book came out, I wrote to Glamour and to Vogue, a number of the women's magazines. And I said, you know, I have this new book out. It's the first one to women about money. And I'd love to write a column for you. And I got a letter back. I wish I'd saved it. You know, there are a couple of important letters that I just wish I'd put in a scrapbook, because the letter said, our readers, women, are not interested in that subject.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? You know, you advertise to them, you expect them to buy all this expensive stuff, and you don't expect them to be interested in money. Like, how do you think this goes around?
Yeah. Wow. And what year was that, Joan?
It was back in about 2000, so it's been a while ago now. But I'm not really sure that much in the culture has changed for women around the understanding of money, even to this point.
Yeah.
So
yes, I so agree. Well, my first realization, I always managed, even through raising my children, to work. I taught music for 12 years, as a private music teacher, piano and flute. And I had a very large group of students, and I would teach them, from 2 p.m. till 9 at night, and I'd bring a nanny babysitter in to watch the kids. And my husband was building businesses, so he was gone during that time too. So it gave me something more I always needed to do, or to be carving my own path. And since I was a young child, I've always had that. So I know it's in my spirit, the entrepreneurism. I have to be doing something like that. So I had my own music school. I did teach some band in schools. I taught some music in churches, or led music in churches. So I did all that. And so I had money coming in. And
when did you decide that you needed your own money? Because of course, traditionally women are like, no, I need a guy with money. Yeah. But there was a defining point in my life where I was like, nope, I need my own money.
That's right.
So did you have that defining point?
I did. So I always was very capable of sustaining myself. That was deep. I think as a child, I couldn't wait to set up a lemonade stand when I was 7.
Me too.
So there you go. That's the first sign of an entrepreneur. I mean, I wanted to, but I love the interaction of selling something and getting something. I loved that. And money is energy.
It is.
So I loved that positive energy. And to me, it was a great lesson in life, because I always saw that interchange as positive. I didn't have a negative idea around money. And I've met a lot of women who do very negative energy around it, because it was held from them and they felt they couldn't participate. But that's another whole story. So but then when I decided that I wanted to open my own clothing boutique. My children were 9, 11, 13, 3 boys.
Tell us a little bit about what that boutique was and why you were motivated to open it.
Yeah, well, I always loved, my mother was an extremely good seamstress. She taught me from a very young age to sew. And I loved sewing. I loved fashion. I knew as a young person, we got a TV later in life, probably when I was about 8 to 10. And one of the first shows on Saturday nights that I loved was Lawrence Welk. Now, this dates me, but Lawrence Welk was the big band, the music, and I couldn't wait for that show to come on, because I loved the music, but also I was most intrigued with the dresses. I wanted to see the fashion. I wanted to see those dresses come out, and I dreamed about wearing those dresses or playing music. And that was just for me an opening up of, oh, this is happening in the world. I could do something like this. And I would go to school and people talk about shows like, I don't know, things I never watched. And I had to act like I knew about them. And then they'd say, well, what show do you like? And I said once, oh, I love Lawrence Welk. Well, I really got the signal. This is not cool. This is not cool. You should not think that's a really cool show to watch. But then I pulled back, but I thought, but I love it. I love it. So I knew I loved fashion. I always sewed all my own clothing. I couldn't wait to get to the fabric store as soon as school was done to go buy the clothing to make for the next year. I made my wardrobe. And so that was.
And me too.
You did too. See, yeah, we have so much in common, Joan. I know.
I made my skirts. We both knitted.
Yes,
but really what you're saying is, what I hear you saying is, your entrepreneurialism started with your gifts.
Yes, you are so
you early on recognized your gifts, and then as it went on and you associated money with your gifts, you started to say, how can I use my gifts, so that I can have a constant stream of cash flow.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for putting that together so nicely for me. And that is right. And so after I ended up, getting married, and that's another whole story, ended up coming to Canada. And my husband was from Edmonton, so it was very small town, no fashion. I'm sorry.
So you're an American from Michigan.
I'm American from Michigan,
You
and I
went off to
ended
be
up.
a Canadian.
I said that's exactly what happened. I went to University of Alberta, and I really was thinking of going to Paris. And as a woman, my husband, who I'm still married to today, he's a great guy. So that, obviously it worked out. It was the right choice. But I wanted to go to Paris to study French, but also fashion. And he convinced me, he's very good in sales. He convinced me to come to Edmonton to go to University of Alberta and to be with him.
And there was no fashion there.
There's no fashion. When I got there, there was no fashion. People looked at me like, who are you? So I went into the business and commerce program with marketing and studied textiles. That was the best, compromise there was, but it was a very good program for business and for marketing. So that led me there. Then from there, we came out to BC, have been here ever since. We moved out here for business opportunities, and we've been here ever since, raised our boys here. And at the age that they were, like I said, 9, 11, 13, I was really itching to start to delve into the dream I've always had of opening my own store of fashion. So I told my husband, and he's always very supportive. He's always backed me, which is why relationships work. I mean,
right.
Exactly. How does it work? Well, it's mutual respect and support. And I said to him, I want to look into this. So I did a lot of market research.
And if you don't have that, it's very hard to be successful.
Exactly. I so agree. And I say to women, I'll tell you, you can do it on your own. You can. But it is more difficult when you have support. It makes such a difference. But
and if you don't get it from your husband or your other close friend people, find friends that will do that.
Yes.
Like I'm very much in support of you, and you're very much in support of me. Yeah. And you got to build that base.
You do. You have to have a good mentor. That's another part of my story too. But it leads me to the caveat here about money, because this was kind of a defining moment for me, because I did all the research. I wrote the 5-year business plan, everything. But I'm a person that I love ideas, and I can think of ideas all day long. But I also like to act on ideas. I don't like to just talk ideas. I'm an idea person, but when I have a vision of something I want to do, I will go for it. I will go. I like to complete what I'm going to do. I don't like to try and then quit. So
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So I have to complete what I've set out on, and I'm a bit driven that way. So I decided I'm going to do this. So I think my husband kind of thought I'd give up. I really do. I think he thought, no, she won't do this. This is a very big undertaking, because it was a brand new mall being built, and I was the first to sign on a lease in it. It was all mud and junk. It was just a mess, but it was going to open in September. In fashion, you must start to buy on paper your goods 6 months before. So I was already buying for the fall and, putting together this whole store. And then when September came, the mall was not ready at all. They were like months behind.
Wow.
So now I'm supposed to receive all these goods and start to pay for them. And because I'm new in the industry, they don't like to give you credit. So you're supposed to pay for it up front, of course. And I'm receiving these goods in July, and I have no store and no way of seeing it open. And I had to handle, that was when the tension started to build, because I realized, how am I going to get the money? How am I going to sell these goods? If I can't
entrepreneurism includes that.
It does. It's
like my father used to say, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
Exactly.
But it's also necessary when, as a woman, your intent is to create a constant flow of cash.
Yes.
So that it meets your needs.
Yes.
And it pays your living expenses. It buys milk. It takes care of your kids. All those things that are absolutely a reality in our life.
Absolutely, 100%. And I thought, okay, now crisis. Now it's the first time I can't just create this cash. I can't just all of a sudden come up with cash. And I had I was actually looking at becoming a securities person, seller of securities. So I had taken the whole course.
Which of course I was too.
Yes, and you were too. I know, so funny. And so I had taken the course, and I had put quite a few funds away into, into the securities market. So I started to draw from that. And, I was like, okay, that's okay. Well, this kept getting pushed back, and I was fighting with the builders. And one time, and I'll never forget this, it was just such an eye opener. I walked into the trailer where all these workers were working, and I was mad because it didn't seem like they were doing anything. And I said, I have to be in here in a month. Like, I have to. I've done this, what my lease says. And I walked in, and I normally am very calm, but I was really out of sorts that day. And I walked in, and I said, this is it. I'm got to be in here, or I don't know what I'm going to do. But you guys aren't doing anything. You're all sitting in here doing nothing. I just kind of reamed them out. I was like, so, and then one guy turned around to me and goes, oh, it must be that time of your month.
Oh, no. But as an entrepreneur, you have to do that, because
I know.
nobody's going to care more than you when you're an entrepreneur.
No.
And you have to own it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole message of the heroine's journey. You own your own life. The results you get you own it. And being nice isn't working, then try being not nice. Heroines, thanks for being with me. There's a really big idea that I want to tell you about, and that's the heroine's journey. Are you worried or concerned about your life? I was. Has something big come along and just rocked you? Maybe thrown your apple cart straight up in the air. And when you ask yourself, are you really living the life of joy, prosperity, and freedom that you want to live? Life is for us to enjoy, not for us to suffer through. And that's what the heroine's journey is all about. It's your roadmap to a life that you love. You can have it. It's at theheroinesbook.com. I've written it for you. I can't wait for you to read it. And I'd love you to give me your feedback.
I know. And of course, as a woman, that's kind of the pushback we get, is like, oh, she's crazy. She's one of these crazy women. And so I realized, okay, yeah, that's how they're going to look at me. I'm not going to have the same impact as, unfortunately, I can do this, but if I send in my husband or something like that. So as women, sometimes we have to, it made me angry, but it also made me think, you know what? But I'm smart enough. I can work this. We got to do what we have to do. So, I did do the other angle of more threatening with the guy. And then you get some action. And the other thing that came with the money is I realized I have to go get a line of credit from the bank to carry me, because I did not get it until November of that year.
Wow.
So it was a 4-month delay. Wow. So I had to go get a line of credit. And I walked into the bank as a woman. I had a beautiful business plan. I already had actually set up store in my house. I fortunately had a big room in the house, and I turned it into a store.
Nice.
And
because sometimes we have to go over, under, or around.
Yeah. You have to be flexible. You have to be so willing to be flexible. And so I did. I thought, oh, I'll do this. And women loved it. Oh, they loved it. I, could serve them a drink. I could serve them coffee. It was like, they were like, this is the best store ever. And so I made do, but I went to the bank, and as I walked in with all my confidence and all my business plans, and everything was there, and everything, was ready to go. And they basically looked at me and said, we won't lend you money.
Yeah, you're a woman.
You're a woman, and you're doing fashion? Fashion? That's crazy. Who we can't give money for a fashion store. And I just thought, wow, this is so amazing. Like, the banks really aren't there to help you. Right. And that was my second lesson in life, was that don't rely on the banks. I can't rely on the banks. I mean, I had to go. So, fortunately, my husband was good enough to say, I'll loan you. The loan, because the bank won't. Or you have to go to a friend and get a loan, or you have to be able to be creative.
In one case, my mother lent me money.
Yeah.
I went to her and I said, I really need some help here. And good enough, I had an entrepreneurial mother who had her own business and knew what it was like to struggle, and also knew how glorious it is to be in control of your own financial life and to be free to create a stream of income that can support you independently of all the other, people who want to control your life.
Yeah. And thankfully you had a mother like that, and would support. And that's where I've seen, women in business have to shut down their dream and quit because they just could not find anybody that, could back them or support them. And that's
and many of the women who are listening to us now are saying to themselves, because there are more single women now than there are married, they're saying, but I don't have a husband who will lend me money. Well, that might be true, but it might be a friend, or it might be a mother, or I think the message is you do what you have to do, and there are many ways to solve problems.
Yes.
And
when
when you drop into fear mode, you don't think you have options.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is, when you raise your self-esteem, your self-worth, which is the message of the heroine's journey, more options appear.
Yes. Absolutely. And that is the whole point. I love that, Joan, because it's true. It's if you believe your dream, if you believe what you're reaching for, and you have the passion behind it, the solution always shows up.
Exactly.
And it always did for me too. Always showed up.
Because in my world and yours, God doesn't give you challenges that he doesn't also give you the solutions for. Sometimes in life that seems impossible to think and to swallow. But the truth of it is that it's where your courage and your strength and your conviction gets built.
Yes.
And if you have a dream that's so intense in your brain, as you know, I started the first female investment banking firm in the country people said I was crazy. Women can't take risk. What, a woman doing this?
Yeah.
But
you were in a man's world. Yeah.
But just like when you walked into that bank and you got that response, your self-worth plummeted. And you had to say to yourself in your brain, hold on here. You don't know who I am yet.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And that you don't know how big my vision is, and you have to believe you're going to make it happen. Yeah.
And entrepreneurialism does not happen without that attitude.
No.
Because most likely on the early side of it, as both you and I have said, nobody believes in you.
No.
You have to manufacture that belief.
Yeah, you do, because there's nothing to prove.
In so many ways, you're trying to do something new and different and whatever. Women trading bonds with their own firm in the broker, they always told me I was as nuts as a squirrel with a,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, without nuts, nowhere to put those nuts. Yeah, no, it's so, you're so true. And that's the entrepreneurial spirit, because like I said, I've been able to accomplish many of my dreams, but not without many challenges and ups and downs and difficulties, and having to switch paths, and having to, at times feel like you're going to give up, and then dig really deep and go, no, I'm not giving up. Like there's more to this. And so when you get to those points, I know my 5-year point, I got the store open, worked day and night, and did so many amazing events and fashion shows, and brought designers in, and made a real experience. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create an experience, which was not a Canadian thing. Stores up here did not do much of anything to highlight fashion. So I was kind of creating a unique setting. And I'll never forget, one of my feathers in my cap, and I'll always remember, is I did an grand opening fashion show where I really did over the top event. I brought in some of the best stylists in Vancouver, created a show. We had sound and equipment from the guys that did music for the Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
I brought in Miss Canada. I mean, I made it a huge event. We had a live alpaca on the stage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because we had alpaca sweaters, and we brought this live alpaca.
Oh, wow.
It was packed, and it was packed so tight, people could, we were over limit. I don't think I could have pulled it off today because of regulations, but I just pushed. Like people said, you can't put that many in. And I said, yes, we can. Just put a table, put a table there. And I was like a sergeant. That's not normal, but when you have to get something done, you have to get it done. And at the end of the night, after the show was over, I was packing everything. I was exhausted, and I'm calling her husband to pick her up. And she said, oh, the show is over, honey. But it was like it was like being in New York City at a show. Wow. It was like a New York City show. And that was, for me, that was the greatest, compliment of the evening. So we did all those things, but at the 5-year mark, it's always a crucial mark in business. The shine has come off a bit. You find out where it's difficult. I lived through, because I opened in 98. I had to live through the 2001, which was a huge setback to retail. And, so that was another one. And then, at 5 years, the mall I was in sold. The owner that wasn't there before was fantastic. And he was very involved in our whole lives and businesses. He sold to a large company, to a large foreign company.
Right.
And the rents, they just jacked them up, and it became not the same, and I wanted out. And so that was where the whole thing of like, okay, how does my dream go from here? Like, it's not going to make financial sense anymore. I don't know what I want to do. And that's when I was headed to deep, because I thought, am I going to just wrap it up? And what am I going to do? And then these ladies kept walking in, because I was doing a lot of evening gowns. And I think when you're in a place where you're questioning, it's a place where you start to look, you kind of shut down a bit, and you start to, at least for me, I start to listen to what's around me. I start to, pay attention, because it's like, who's out there to help me? What's going to happen?
Exactly. I take surveys. When I don't know what to do, I start to intensely listen and ask particular questions where I can get some feedback that can help me. Because honestly, life is not against you. No. Life is for you. Everything in life is for you.
Yes.
If you'll listen and if you'll ask the questions.
Yeah, you have to ask the questions and you have to listen. Those are two big ones. And when you're so in the moment of everything's going great and we're just sailing ahead, you don't listen to anybody. It's like
And I'd add a third one. You have to keep your self-worth high.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear and you don't think you have options if you're not maintaining your self-worth.
Yes. It's so true.
So you got some great feedback.
Yeah, so I did. So I was listening to these ladies coming in, because I'm thinking, do I keep doing evening gowns? I don't know. And I was one of the only evening gown stores and did a lot of them. And they come in, and so many women said to me, because I think they said it before, but I wasn't listening. But now I was listening, as they say to me, oh, I'd like to wear this gown, but it doesn't work with a bra, or I just need a good bra, or I can't wear a gown like this because I've had surgery, or, maybe could you put a bra in? Could you actually put something in here that would make it work for me? And I heard this over and over, and I was like, okay, a bra is the issue. There's a problem with the bras.
And the other thing I would say here is that your ear was tuned to how can I serve you?
Yes. And it became exactly. And I always wanted to serve. So my heart was, could I find, like, if a woman's telling me, can you make it fit better? Of course I wanted to try to make it fit better. So I started listening, and I said to these women, so, you just need a better fitting bra. Yeah, there's no bras out there. They're horrible. They don't fit. I don't know. At that time, and there's another part to the story. I was like probably about 15 pounds lighter than I was now. I fit anything. It was just, for me, no issue. And so I was looking, I thought, yeah, some of these ladies have issues, they have tissue issues, I was like,
exactly.
And we could joke. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go find a good bra line. So I went to Montreal, to the French, capital of Canada. And I found this beautiful old French line of bras called a bod. And I brought them in, and they were beautiful. And they were not cheap. They were very expensive bras, but they were beautiful lace with wires. They went up to a D cup. I thought, wow, that's great. I mean, D cup's good. And brought all that in with the fancy, panties and all that. And I was so excited. I put it out to all my ladies. I have bras in for you. I've got bras. So come down. So I started to get not in the change room as much yet, but I'd say, okay, what are you wearing right now? Well, I think I'm wearing like a 38D, whatever. Okay, I got 38D. And I put in, and they'd be going, this doesn't work. It's beautiful, but it doesn't work for me. And so then I started getting in the change room and I started to see how the bras, especially for a lot of women, they don't fit the body. They don't accommodate the issues that we have, but more.
And I have to say, particularly as you get older.
Yes.
I said to my mother, why, as you get older, these are supposed to get smaller.
No, they don't.
Like, no, they get bigger.
Exactly.
I have bras from last year that I cannot wear this year.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is happening? I really haven't gained any weight.
No.
It's the shape has changed.
The change of shape. Gravity is not our friend. And, it's just how our womanly bodies change. And that's when it made a real connection for me. I was like, and then I got into a change with someone that had breast cancer and had to have mastectomy. And I thought, yeah, she said, I can't wear anything. Like everything doesn't fit, and these things inside the prosthetics were falling out when they were, embarrassing. They wouldn't fit properly. And then that role, the part of me that could listen was like, I gotta help these ladies. There's a need here. There's nothing out here. I got one of the most beautiful lines of bras. These bras don't fit, ladies. They don't work. And
entrepreneurism starts and cash flow starts when you meet the needs of somebody else.
Yes, absolutely.
And you hear them say, this is what I need, because all money comes to you from other people.
It does.
So you can only meet somebody else's need in such a great way that they then say to you, here's some money because it's met my need.
Exactly.
So you had dropped in from a sales point of view and from a fashion point of view, and we all love fashion, but now you've really transitioned to the point that you're listening carefully and saying, what do you need? How can I help your individual need? How can I adapt to what I'm doing?
Yes.
Because when you provided them this new form of bra, which I think didn't have an underwire, they started to say, oh my gosh, I'm out in the marketplace looking for this. I can't find it. And now you're delivering it to me.
Yes. And that's the beauty of that, because again, I believe our paths are led. I'm a strong believer, and I'm not so smart that I just see these things and do them exactly when I believe we are very much our paths are led, and by God. And when this was happening, this was when I decided I need to find a better bra line. I put it out there. I put it out to a few of my dear friends. And also one of my friends calls me out of the blue. And she says, hey, she's a promoter for hotels and stuff. And she says, there's a lady, I'm in this hotel here in Surrey, and there's a lady here. She's rented a room from us, and she has these bras. And she's got women coming all day in and trying these bras on. And she says, and when did they leave? I've asked these ladies, do you like the bra? They said, it's amazing. I love the bra. Like it fits me. And so she says, you talked about wanting to find a better bra. You should call this lady. And I was like, oh, wow. And so that was kind of like a drop in from above, because it was like, because I'm thinking, how am I going to find a better bra line?
Yeah, because once you're clear about what you want and how you want to serve, the universe, God, it conspires to help you.
Yes, it does. It does. It comes to you. And at the same time, so I called this lady. She was excited that I called her. She wanted to show me the bra line. She came down to my store. And when she laid the bra on the table, it literally stood up on its own. It was so stiff. It was made of really stiff lace. And it had this no wires, and it had the shelf under it that supports from underneath, which was really made sense. But it was made with a very stiff fabric, and it actually was like a plastic covered with cotton. So it was very stiff, but it went up to double K cups into 46s. It had a size range, and but I, being fashion, I, right away judged it by the look and went, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to want to wear this. It doesn't look nice. And she said to me, she was smart. I'm sure she's heard this many times. So she said to me, don't worry about it. Just let me show you. She said, I will bring it in. You just advertise for ladies to come down that they can have a custom bra fitting. You advertise it, you get ladies in, I'll fit them. And then I'll show you what the response is. And then you can decide. And I thought, well, that's really a sweet offer. How can I say no to that? So I said, okay, let's do this. At the exact same time, I decided I have to put an ad out. And exactly at that time, Oprah did the first show on 85% of women are wearing the wrong size bra.
Oh, wow, that was perfect.
She came out, and I happened to see this show, or someone told me about it. And she came out and, with a wrong bra. And then she came out with, and it was actually a bra very similar to the one that I was being introduced to. And you could see the difference, and the whole audience went, oh, and like they couldn't believe the change. She did this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use that line. 85% of women are wearing the wrong size bra. Are you? And then I put, custom bra fitting. So I used that line and put that in there and said what it was. Put it in the little papers, didn't pay a lot of money for it, just put a little ad out, thought I was a bit skeptical it would work. And when the day came, I didn't bring in any extra help. I just thought, oh, she'll come. And I actually went out to, I had my one staff member in. That's right. And I went out to buy. I was working in Vancouver. I didn't even stay around for the bra clinic. That shows how tuned out I was. I said to my staff member, get feedback. Find out how the ladies are liking it and this and that, and give me some good feedback. I've got business to do downtown. And she called me about an hour and she said, Yvonne, where are you? I said, I'm downtown. She says, you got to come home. She got to come back. She says, there's literally nine ladies and more sitting on chairs.
Wow.
And they're waiting. And I said, why are they sitting on chairs? I'm thinking, like, why are they not shopping? Like, why would you put chairs up in the middle of my store? I was just so, and I said, why are they sitting on chairs? She says, well, they're waiting for their bra fittings. And I said, they all came in for bra. She says, they're all coming in because of the ad. And they want to try the bra. That was the whole aha moment for me. It was like a light bulb went on so bright in my mind. And it was the perfect timing. So God, it really brought it all together at that time. I went home. We sold, I had women all day. I have advertised, and you know how this Joan is too. We have to put ourselves out there, but I've advertised in glossy magazines, fashion, paid lots of money for the ads. And, you're lucky if you can tell that 2 people came in from that ad. It's like, brand awareness, but you're not getting direct traffic. This was a simple little $150 black and white ad. And
it's because you were meeting a need.
That's right.
I mean, as you're talking, what I'm thinking is that next time I'm close to the Canadian border, I need to come see you.
Yes.
I need some new bras.
Yeah. You'll love them.
And quite frankly, like you're saying, maybe it's because men design bras.
Yes.
That could be possible.
Yes.
Because but once you met that need, which is entrepreneurism, once you got in the vein of what women, and see, I have this belief that as soon as we start to be authentic as women, as we speak our truth, as we, start to be the heroines of our own life, we're going to create whole new businesses that are never thought of before, because we're going to have the strength of claiming our self-worth, using our voice, and actually promoting things in the marketplace that haven't been there before. Because I promise you, most things are designed by men, including the inside of a car. Like, I would love to design the inside of a car.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's where
the foundation to entrepreneurialism is you got to claim your self-worth and you got to use your voice.
Yes. And then you got to find a purpose. And that really is how it wrapped up for me. This became my purpose. I never thought that I'd be in fashion and switch to my purpose and my label. A lot of people still call me that, the bra lady, because I never saw myself in that, but it became a purpose for me. And I was able to take this bra line and I went all over Canada. I doubled the sales in a year on it. I did so many fittings with women and they loved it. Even though it wasn't a beautiful bra, even though it was very stiff, it actually fit them and help them. And I got to see women transform, and that's like the beauty of it. It wasn't about the beauty of the product. It was about how they felt once they got it on and they got their clothes back on. I said, because we're not going to we're not going to walk around with this bra without clothing. And I always tell them, and then I always use the analogy of, there's two types of footwear in our lives. There's the beautiful stiletto, tall, like makes our legs look great and long and all this and beautiful. But we kick it off as soon as we can, within a few hours, because it's killing us. And then we have the running shoe or the walking shoe, and we love to be in it because
it's not so pretty.
And it's not as pretty. And it doesn't make us look as tall but it feels so good, and we want to wear it all day. I'm talking to you and looking and creating for you and selling you the walking bra, the walking shoe bra. That's what the other bras, there's a place for them, but they're not for your everyday. And so we took this whole bra thing on the purpose driven, and I can write a book about the women, the tears, the hugs, I have so many stories of women who were truly changed once they got out of the change room with a new bra. And also when you get into a change room and women take their clothing off and they expose the trauma, and there really was a lot of trauma, and some of it you could see right away, and others of it you could just feel it. And when they take their clothes off and I'm there and they can trust me, everything is exposed. And I've heard so many incredible stories. And it's been a life-changing journey for me. I'm very passionate about it. That's truly has become my purpose in the business. I know that's where I was led. And I've still developed more. My sons came in the business. The two oldest are in the business with me. We developed into Firma, which is also a great healing line of compression fashion wear. But the bra still is the closest thing to my heart. And it is. I have it on. It's the closest thing to my breast.
We won't ask you to show it.
You won't get it. But
here's the thing. What happens to us in life, and we talk about this in the Heroine's Journey, is that you go to work, you look around and you say, what can I do that will give me security and safety? And by the way, that cash flow that I need. And then after that, you say, oh, look, that's the way the guy did it. That must be the path to cash. So I'll go do that. So you find yourself doing something that trades your time for money.
Yes.
And then you get to be midlife. Generally a crisis of some sort happens, in any number of different ways. And then you get to the point where your gifts, your true passion, what you can love doing, where you're supposed to be to solve problems emerges.
Yes.
And instead of thinking that the Heroine's Journey is something that is terrible and befell us, because it does, it lands right on our head.
Yeah.
No, it's not something we choose. It's not I'm signing up for the Heroine's Journey.
No,
That's not the way it works.
They're just lessons in life. Yeah.
It's something that lands on you. But if you can take a breath and say, oh my gosh, there's goodness here.
Yeah.
Because it led you now to work that not only produces cash flow, not only is, in line with what you've been doing before, you didn't give any of that up.
No.
But it now has purpose and meaning and passion. And it touches your heart, and you see these women transform.
Oh yeah.
It's the same with my work. I'm so passionate about women really stepping up to be the heroines of their own life, because that's where joy, prosperity, and freedom lies. You own your life.
Yes.
You don't want to quit working. You're like, no, I'm going here.
No, you want that freedom. And that's what we get when we get the purpose. And then the purpose, like you said, drives the money or the energy, the positive energy towards you. And then we realize freedom. And I think that's a beautiful way to wrap a lot of it, because for me, freedom was, and always has been since a child, very important. And coming through this whole journey, and I still sell bras. Our bras, we ended up going into manufacturing. That's what led me to China. That's what led me to Mexico. Spent a lot of time there. But our bras are called TAB bras, and they stand for The Amazing Bra. And that's why I called them tab bras, because so many women, every woman almost would say to me in the change room, once I get them in the bra, they're amazing. They're just amazing. So we called it the tab bra. We manufacture. Our sons now work in that business with us. And then we moved into the fashion compression style wear. All of our products are medically licensed. So we didn't even go into that. So we are considered a health, where health and fashion meets is what we call our tagline. And so it's really transformed over the 29 years that I've been in business on this. But now, I can hand it off to my sons. They're taking it a little bit more into the way they do things, which is online, and that's all good. I'm very happy that they're taking it forward. I still will always love fitting a woman. So Joan, just come on up here and I'll fit you. And I love fitting a woman.
Where can people find you online?
They can just go to my website, Mallory's. It stands for my three boys' names, Mark, Lane, and Ryan. So MALARY.com. Mallory's, sorry, with an S at the end. So MALARYS.com. And on my website, the links are there for Firma, for tab bras. Welcome to talk to me there. Send me any. I do work with women and fit them over the phone.
I was going to say, since some people can't come to you,
no,
can they order online, and can they be fit?
We don't put the ordering online because our bras are fit a little bit differently, but I tell you, I fit women all over the world all the time. Okay. I'm on the phone almost every day with women. Just, we do a Zoom call like this, but I send them always, they want to try a bra, they buy one. We send 2 or 3. So we give them the chance to try, because our sizing is very, unique. We have 128 sizes. We have 4 styles. So we have bras. So I send what I know will be close to you. We have you try them. Then we get back on and we chat about the fit and how it's working. And so it's almost it is like a personal fitting, and we become good friends. I have women, all over the world that we become good friends with, because that's how it is. And so,
and entrepreneurism is friendship. That's one of the greatest rewards of it. You think when you put yourself out there that it's going to be scary. The truth is, when you put yourself out there, there's a whole bunch of people that you get to know and interact with, and who throw their arms around you. That's not to say that there are not some challenges by any means.
No.
But the gifts of being an entrepreneur and being able to serve, to me, far outweigh that. And I've worn the Firma legwear, and I love it. I'm here to say it's wonderful.
It stimulates circulation, just so women know. It's a wonderful product. It's for men as well. And then when you click on the Firma link, you can shop online. And there's all our promo codes and all that, because that's just an extra small to 2XL type product. But it's an amazing product because it's actually got minerals embedded in the yarn, and it gives a far infrared treatment. So if women, how good far infrared light is for you, this garment, you're wearing it all day, and it's stimulating your circulation, and it's extremely comfortable and good for you. So, we have a whole lot of products. You can look on our website. But that grew out of the bras, because I had so many women that love the bras. And then I heard all the other issues, which is circulation. And, especially with surgeries, lymphedema and lymphatic issues. So with wearing our tank tops or our bra, our seamless bra, that's, just a sleep bra in Firma, it helps to stimulate the lymphatic system. So all of our products are meant to, make you feel good, not to cause more trauma. And that's really what I saw with women, was that the products they were being offered to wear after traumatic incidences in their life of all kinds were causing them more trauma. They were just causing them more pain, more upset, realizing they don't fit. They just don't fit. And they literally said that we don't fit. How do we fit in society if we can't fit into anything?
In a bra.
Yeah. And so we can restore people's lives. And that's my greatest satisfaction at the end of the day, is seeing a lady go out, with a smile on her face, her shoulders back, because that new bra lifts you up. Much better posture. Yeah, lift them up. I would say, I'm so glad that, I could be your support today, literal
Yeah.
support. And I'll be with you every day if you have the bra on. So just keep wearing that bra. But
so give us your website once more.
Yeah, the website is Mallory's, MALLARYS.com. Mallory's.com.
I'm so tickled that we've had this conversation today.
Oh, it's been fun, Joan. I know we'd have a great time because we share a lot of our passions together. So.
We absolutely do. I'd love to have you back and have you talk to us about your newest venture in the wool line. So we'll do that too, because I know you're on to your next thing.
Yeah, and also my next venture and passion will be teaching some financial freedom as well.
Yes, and I'm there to join you because I feel so strongly about that for women. Yeah. Women can understand that there is a path forward here. My new book, The Heroine's Journey, devotes some portion of the book to money for women and shaping our understanding and our beliefs about our ability to actually own our own freedom. So
congratulations. So and congratulations on your book, Joan. I've read at least half of it. It's very informative. It's very much your style. It's really wonderful. So, grab the book and read it as well. But congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
We will. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
That is this week's episode of The Heroine's Journey. You can access the blog post for this episode along with other great resources at walkthejourney.com. Also, get your free ebook at walkthejourney.com so you can say goodbye to just surviving and turn into thriving. Join us next week for another fun, inspiring, and uplifting episode. If you love this episode, feel free to subscribe and give us a review on iTunes. Stay in touch on other social media platforms, Instagram and our Facebook group, both at The Heroine's Journey LLC. Until next time.